Welcome. This is your life today. Many of us had a lot of questions why all these crises are happening right now. Why God allowed all these things to happen to mankind if God is love. You know what? There are a lot of factors we need to consider why all these things are happening. And one of it is the obedience of man to God. The most important issue in your life right now is your obedience to God. Every problems you face in some way related to this issue. Every solution in your life is ultimately found in obedience to God. Because obedience is designed relationship of man to God. In other words, God did not design man to act alone without His divine guidance and care. God designed human beings to work in relationship with Him. By design man, God is totally dependent upon God. There is only one source of life, and that is God. In other words, man cannot produce life independent of God. That is why obedience is not an issue of which covenant relationship a person has with God. Regardless of all else, man is designed to submit and obey God. He cannot function successfully any other way. It all happens in the context of obedience, because obedience is absolutely essential. Now let's take a look at the story or the account in the city of Sodom and Gomorrah. You know what? Sodom was right with God. They are doing what pleases God. But along the way, they began to make their schemes that makes God angry. At the later time, they were the most wicked city on the face of the earth, and God judged them. They were judged by God because of their disobedience. Every calamity mentioned in the Bible has its own causes. If you read the Bible, no disaster had happened without any connection with the disobedience of the people. Let me quote to you Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 1 and 2. And it shall come to pass, if you diligently obey the voice of the Lord your God, to observe carefully all His commandments which I command you today, the Lord God will set you high above all nations of the earth, and all these blessings shall come upon you and overtake you, because you obey the voice of the Lord your God. Take note of the word if. The word if, it brings two conditions of your life. Either you will choose the blessings or curses. If you choose to obey God, God will set you above all nations of the earth, and the blessings shall come upon you. Take note, the blessings shall come upon you. There has really a sender of blessings when there is obedience. There has also a danger of obedience. If you try to study and put emphasis of this verse, of these two verses, God has given us two options. Either we will obey or we will disobey. Along with the obedient people, God promised us that He will bless us. He will continue to pour out His goodness upon us. If we disobey God, there has also a negative things that will happen. Now, let me quote to you this. But it shall come to pass, if you do not obey the voice of the Lord your God, to observe carefully all His commandments and His statutes, which I command you today, then all these curses will come upon you and overtake you. In the history of Israel, we see these blessings come upon their obedience, and at their times, the curses that followed disobedience. Isaiah 1 verse 19 up to verses 20. If you are willing and obedient, you will eat the good things of the land. In verse 20, but if you resist and rebel, you will be devoured by the sword, for the mouth of the Lord has spoken. You know what? The choice is yours. You can obey God, and He will take care of you. You will disobey God, and curses will follow. But Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 13, now all has been heard. Here is the conclusion of the matter. Fear God and keep His commandment, for this is the whole duty of man. You know what God is saying to us today? Obedience brings skill. The result is blessing. If you want to be blessed, obey. If you want to live a happy life, obey God. What you choose today will determine what kind of life you want to experience in the future. So guys, choose wisely.